Hey there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. I'm super excited to be back in the studio this Monday morning because I want to talk about a little meal planning and meal prepping to set your week off in a successful way. I think that there's nothing like starting your week off with a couple different things working in your kitchen so that you are set up for success for the rest of the week. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Today I'm going to be making with you a blueberry compote oatmeal out of groats. They're whole grain oats. Basically, everything is still intact. They are amazing. I love groats, but you can also just use regular oats, and we'll talk about that. And today, this recipe comes straight out of my cookbook, Plant-Based Made Easy, issue number 10. This is the cookbook here. If you want to purchase a copy, I would really recommend that you do so. If you're trying to go plant-based, either partially or fully, this is your resource. I made this for you. I promise you that. I actually went vegan and plant-based 1 year ago, and in the process, I thought of all of you. I had people in mind. I hadn't even built this community yet, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to create a resource that's a month-long cookbook that is going to help anybody that picks it up feel competent and confident in the kitchen. So these recipes are easy, they're super healthy, they're delicious, and they all really don't require crazy, ingredients and complex steps. It's super simple, all right? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take my skills as a chef and just make this process fun again, because I think that's what cooking's all about. We really want not only to set our week up for success, but we want to set up our whole belief system and our mentality in the kitchen to be a successful one, so that we can, no matter how we approach food, no matter how we eat, we can be successful. So let's get into the recipe, okay? And if you have any questions along the way, please type them into the comment box. I love engaging with you guys. Hi, Jennifer, and hi, Brian. Good to have you. Jennifer from Scotland and Brian from Denmark. It's awesome to have you guys back. All right, so let's make some blueberry compote oatmeal, all right? So delicious. I'm gonna do a split screen. And I'm gonna just talk about the ingredients. First things first, we need some whole grain oats, also known as groats. I'm going to show you in the overhead. These come from Almond Cow. Now, I actually use an almond milk maker, a nut milk maker called the Almond Cow machine. Now, if you purchase any of my cookbooks, you will get a discount code to purchase this machine because it's amazing. And I'm telling you, it has changed everything in my life since I've gone plant-based. I use this plant milk, which I make weekly. This is oat milk here. I use this just like I would before I went plant-based. So I use it for everything, for baking, for cooking, for drinking, for cereal, for anything, right? And today we're going to use it for oats in the place of water, just to give our oats a lot more flavor, all right? So I want to let you know that Almond Cow also sells ingredients. They don't just sell the machine, and I want you guys to have this resource. Here's why. Do you see these 3 distinctions on the bottom of the bag? I want you to know that these are gluten-free, USDA organic, and this is the most important, glyphosate residue free. Now I'm showing you this because I know that it's very difficult to find these designations in the retailers all over the world. You're not going to find oats, whole grain oats, that are just at the supermarket that have all 3 of these certifications. Now, why is this important? Well, it's really important because when we actually decide to eat better and to treat ourselves better, we are actually going to make that decision, and it's going to impact our entire self, our entire system. So the glyphosate is a really important thing for us to rid our bodies of. Glyphosate also goes by the commercial name of Roundup. It's a chemical that's sprayed onto crops as a herbicide or pesticide, and it has wreaked havoc not only in our soil, but in our gut microbiome. There's a ton of research, peer-reviewed scientific studies that show that glyphosate is one of the reasons why people usually tend to get cancers and things from the ways that they eat. And it actually has to do with either the cattle that people are eating, the animals that people are eating that are grazing on the grasses that have been sprayed with glyphosate, or the food that is not organic, that is conventional food grown here in the United States or in other parts of the world that is also sprayed with glyphosate. So really important to get some high quality ingredients. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to spend more than you would normally. It just means you want to find the right quality ingredients. These oats here are awesome. They're actually cheaper than buying them in market because you're buying a 3-pound bag, and this is actually you're buying in bulk, so you're going to save a little money. All right. So coming back to it, we're also going to use a little bit of blueberries here. These are California grown. Yum. We're also going to use a banana. I freeze my bananas when they get nice and ripe and speckled and freckled. I'm going to use one of these bananas. Like I said, the oat milk, which I made this morning. This stuff looks so good. I already had it in my morning coffee. It was delicious. And then some cinnamon and things like that. All right, so let's make some oats. I'm going to turn on my overhead, my induction so that you can see, and I'll do a full overhead. And in this, I'm going to add my groats or my oats. Now, this is straight from my almond cow. This is the actual filter basket from the almond cow machine. And this is the remaining oats from the milk. So after I've milked the oats, I get this. This is the pulp, okay? And you can see that these oats didn't get that pulverized. They still made a delicious bottle of milk, but I'm going to use these oats right in my oatmeal. So I'm going to put them in. You can see they look a little different than regular old-fashioned oats or rolled oats. It's the whole kind of grain intact. And I'm going to show you one in the overhead. I had never seen these type of oats before until I purchased them from the almond cow, and I love them. So here's what they look like. Totally different, right? Rolled oats are actually taken, this form is taken and then rolled under a machine so that they're flattened. Okay, so these are more akin to steel cut, but steel cut even have some of the germ removed. These are the whole thing intact. So you can see the endosperm and the germ and everything is still intact. It's going to make it a very high fiber food and a very high protein food. So we have the oats down. Now I'm going to add some oat milk. You can use any milk that you want. I'm going to use oat milk. Perfect. And the quantities are in the cookbook, you guys. I'm just going to run through this pretty quickly. Now, one of the best ways to sweeten up oatmeal, I think, is to actually add in a frozen banana or regular banana, but just make sure it's nice and ripe. And I'm going to throw that right in. And as this banana cooks, it's actually going to cook up really nicely. And this is going to disintegrate and dissolve in the oats, but it's going to sweeten it along the way. So you're going to get a really nice banana kiss and essence of banana in these oats, and you're going to get a sweetness. So it does two things. I really love it for that. I love the banana because it's going to add consistency and it's going to add a sweetness. My lipstick's really light today. What do you think? It's new. I like it. All right. I'm also going to add a little spice. I'm going to use cinnamon because I love cinnamon. I grew up eating it and everything, even savory foods, even tomato sauce. All right. That's how I grew up enjoying cinnamon. My mom is Latina. My father is Sicilian. So I grew up with both worlds, a Latin vibe and an Italian vibe. But my Italian family, because we're from Sicily, we have closer roots to North Africans than we do to Northern Italians. So in Sicilian cooking, you're going to find a lot of these North African spices like cinnamon and cardamom, clove, nutmeg. These are really wonderful, spices that are very North African influenced. So I love cinnamon, and yes, it is even used in savory cooking. You can see this banana is already starting to break down too, which is really nice. I'm going to put a link right now in the chat box to the cookbooks, you guys, if you want them. And I'm giving you two links, either one-off, so you can purchase just one cookbook, or a link to actually becoming a cookbook member. You can get all 3 books delivered right to your inbox every single month when it becomes available. So I really hope you'll consider becoming a member because it's a great value. You're going to get 20% off the cost of each cookbook, and you're in the know. You have all these recipes right at your fingertips. And this obviously is a breakfast recipe, but you can have it even for dessert if you wanted. And sometimes I sometimes do oatmeal if I'm feeling like I want it in the middle of the day because it's so filling and delicious. So sometimes I skip breakfast and I'll have like oatmeal for lunch. Just depends on my mood. Gonna let that keep working. Now, in the meantime, you would have a second burner going and you would make the blueberry compote. So let me explain that really fast. It's really simple. I've already kind of done it, but here's what you want to do. You want to take all of these blueberries, you want to put them in a little pot, hopefully a nonstick pot, because it's just going to cook and pop and not stick to the edges, and you're going to get all that juice instead of it burning and sticking. So put your blueberries in a pot with a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of water. Cook that down, and it takes about 5 minutes or so. Cook it down. And what I like to do is I take the back of a spatula. So I like to take a spatula and I like pop the blueberries in the pot. And I had to do this ahead of time because I only have one burner here in the studio. But you basically cook it down until it's this beautiful compote. And this is what it looks like, my friends. Look at how delicious. You see speckles of the blueberries still. You see some of the skin, but you get this really shiny, beautiful compote. Now, here's where I want to talk about meal prepping. Now, this is already setting you up for success. Right away, you have oats going. This is like at least 4 to 5 portions of oats. You have this blueberry compote, which, by the way, you can use on a lot of different recipes throughout the week. Let's say you grill up some delicious asparagus, you might want to like consider throwing some thyme on the asparagus. And how about drizzling it with a little bit of this compote mixed with balsamic vinegar? So this can be a vehicle for even savory grilled vegetables. You can also use this as a dessert. You can top it off for your breakfast. You can put it on top of yogurt. So lots of uses for this, and lots of uses for the oats as well, or lots of meals out of it. And you really have already kind of started your organization in the kitchen for the week. So it really does help. It pays to be prepared, doesn't it? I think so. So just let these oats continue to cook. They're almost done. They don't take all that long because I soaked them overnight. That's another great trick. If you want, you can soak your oats overnight and it will really be delicious. All right, I think we're ready to go, you guys. Let me grab a bowl. I'm going to just plate my oats and my compote. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. I love when the banana pieces stay a little bit large. I can see specks of banana. Yummy. Now I'm going to top it off with some of this compote. That's probably good. Maybe some cinnamon, some fresh blueberries. Yeah, this looks really good. And there you have it, you guys. A delicious blueberry compote oatmeal ready for you in a matter of minutes. This did not take me long. We've been on the live stream for 11 minutes and we're done. All right, so before I let you go, I want to just taste this for quality control. So please bear with me. I want to give this food a little gratitude. Thank you, food. Thank you, God. Here we go. Oh, it's so yummy. Yum, it's creamy, it's sweet, it's tangy because the blueberries were nice and tart. This is so good, you guys. Check out this recipe, make it your own, do whatever you want with it. If you do make it, take a photo though and pop it in our Facebook group, Plant-Based Made Easy, will you? I would love for you to be a part of our community. And ask your friends to join too. This is a really great resource for anybody that wants to just make plants more of a priority on their plate, you guys. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be back in the studio for more this week. Again, please buy these cookbooks, you guys. It's a wonderful way to support Plant-Based Made Easy so I can continue to put this show on. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.